first met, we actually really met kind of on MySpace. He has seen me at the fitness center where I worked, and I seen him pretty much around the entire, like the Air Force Base, and he looked pretty cute. So I decided to add him on MySpace, and we just kept sending letters back and forth. And for the longest time, I never actually knew that he actually went to church with me. And there was one day I actually seen him at church, and there was a reception afterwards, so I invited him to come sit with us. I'd never talked to him before or anything actually in person. And my mom told me, she pushed us to go talk some more at his dorm for a couple hours while she went off and did craft stuff with Shelly. So she went off and I walked to the dorm with him. We talked for 2 hours straight, and my mom wanted us to come back, so he drove me over to Shelly's house, and I had actually left my wallet on his coffee table. So he came back with the wallet, and he asked me for my number and wanted to know if I wanted to go out that night. Although he has a different story.
Mine actually starts like 6 months prior to that, where she was working at the bar at the Oak Club. I was also working, but working on something else. Eventually I decided I was going to go talk to her, so I went to go just help her out with her work. So while she was busting tables, I think it was the time, I was helping out and just talking to her for about at least 2 hours. Eventually I asked her out and she said no, and gave me her boyfriend black belt story. Didn't work. But then eventually saw her around again, and so her story picks up.
I didn't even remember the incident. I remember the incident, I just don't remember it being him until he pointed out to me once we started going out.
See, the first date was that Sunday after I gave her back her wallet, asked for her number. We tried to find a day that would work for both of us, and it turned out to be that day because she was studying, working, and everything else. I also had work at that time. So it was that Sunday. She gave me directions to her house. Of course, it didn't involve street names or cardinal directions. It was turn left at this thing. So I couldn't find it initially. I ended up being about 10 minutes late. Our first time I've been late in a long time. We picked her up, and she was wearing her green jet dress with white spaghetti straps and white shoes. Went to Applebee's. Appetizer, she had a little chicken pasta thing. Then we went to go see Da Vinci Code at the theater. And went back, and that was about it for the first date. I was the first one to tell her that I loved her several times.
About 2 or 3 times before I actually said it back, which was a couple months later. But
first time it was after Six Flags. She had never gone on a roller coaster ride before. I got her to do several roller coasters back to back, so there was no line. She ended up getting sick from that. But coming back for the end of Six Flags, there was a bunch of waterfalls there. Told her that I loved her. Didn't really get a reply, but I was alright. Felt like a good moment for me, at least.
3 weeks after we had met. Soon.
Yep. When I look at her, I see my future wife, first and only. I knew that right away from meeting her at the bar, actually. It was just obviously attractive. Where I first brings it out, I have to go talk to her. Normally it's not my place to ask somebody out a second time, but her conveniently leaving a wallet there on my place, so I was like, all right, maybe she knows something to it, so I decided to take a second chance. Obviously I've taken chances the entire time, telling her I love her 3 times before I got a reply back. Very, very difficult for any guy to do, but sometimes you just gotta go for it.
When I look into Conrad's eyes, I see a wonderful man. I really don't ever really want to look away, but
He's the most amazing man, and I always think that I'm so lucky to have him, and I really am. He's just amazing. Everything that he does, and he's so considerate and kind and to anyone, and he can just sit there and make a conversation with any kind of person, and it just still amazes me. My parents, when they first met him, Walt actually walked up next to him and said, you know, I'm taller than you, just remember that. And I thought it was awesome that Walt was actually taller than Conrad, but they loved him. I mean, just hanging out with him and stuff. My mom is still in love with him and probably thinks of him as more one of her kids than anything. So.
Plans for the future are going to be, I've got my job/career ahead of me, I guess, however long the Air Force is going to take me. Right. She has her job and career plans as well for accounting. Hopefully she can do that. For the next 3 years, we'll be down in Florida.
My plans for the future are currently, when we move to Florida, I plan to get my graduate degree and take my CPA and probably work for a few years. We're not quite sure on kids right now, but probably not this deployment, but possibly the next deployment.